Switch accessible apps and simple switch control. Switch use within iOS settings or within the app. Using switch control within iOS settings requires much switch setup. The iOS device, for example iPad, has built-in switch control. This built-in switch control will enable a user to control the entire iPad. Using iOS switch control to control the entire iPad requires patience to set things up and good cognition when using the switch control. Using switch control within the app requires little switch setup. Certain apps have built-in switch settings. These apps can be used with a switch without having to turn on switch control functionality in the iOS device. Such apps would allow the user to participate at a basic level, for example, fire in a game or move to next page within iBooks. Apps with built-in simple switch control. A few apps are switch accessible with built-in switch controls. They can be used with a switch but do not require switch functionality to be turned on within the iPad settings. A switch interface must be Bluetoothed to the iPad and can then be used to control these apps. Switches and switch interfaces. The Bluetooth switch has a white and orange button and space to add 2 additional switches of your choice. Switches are programmable. The applicator interface enables you to program and add up to 4 switches of your choice. The demo in part 2 will use the applicator interface with 1 switch. Books accessible with simple switch control. Books can also be used with simple switch control. Books must be sourced. Books can be used within certain apps to enable simple switch control, e.g. learner participation by turning pages. iBooks or sounding board apps can be used for books you have sourced. Sources for activities used with simple switch control. Apps with built-in switch control. Jane Farrell has a site which will give you apps with switch control. Sensory Soundbox, Sensory Lightbox. These paid-for apps have built-in switch control also. On the right, the table shows various sources where books can be sourced. And remember, using iBooks and Sounding Board app will enable you to turn pages using a simple switch. So Jane Farrell Consultation gives lists of apps with built-in switch control. The Books for All database will allow you to download a book for a print-disabled child. Within the Call Scotland site, you can find a section on accessible book providers. RNIB Bookshare, formerly Load to Learn. This site can be joined and books can be downloaded for the print-disabled child. Seeing Ear, the site can be joined and books downloaded for the print-disabled pupil. Project Gutenberg, another site where free ebooks can be gained. Portland Academy, Resources created by Pete Wells and Sensory Stories. We'll provide some books. Tar Heel, another source of books. Within Call Scotland, Scottish Book Award. Resources can be downloaded to accompany books from the Scottish Book Award. Some books are also available in PowerPoint form and are switch accessible on a Windows device, but perhaps not so easy to access these within an iPad, but handy for a Windows device. Oxford Owl, free to join, providing you with ebooks. Set BC, again, some samples of accessible books here in a variety of formats. And finally, Pacific Learning Difficulties Association of South Australia. Some books which can be downloaded. Onto your iPad. Thank you for watching part 1 of this video. In part 2, a demonstration of switch accessible apps and also books using a switch to turn pages within iBooks.